Hey guys, you're watching Let's Talk About Prepping. I'm Tyler, your host, and we're just having a brief little chat now that I'm off work. No topic in mind, just hanging out. So we'll see who shows up. Been pretty busy lately, working 7 days a week. Hooples, how you doing? How are you guys tonight? Good evening, Steve. Just got off work, just hanging out and trying to relax a little bit. It was a busy day. We're always understaffed on Sunday, so when they show up in crowds, it's pretty bad. Hey, Will, how you doing? Off for 17 days starting tomorrow. I think I've been on for 35 days, and I'm probably going to be on for at least, I'm planning on being on for at least 35 more. Work was busy, Steve. It was a busy night. Lots of people showing up for Sundays. I'm here at the pizza place, so we had about a crowd of 30 people show up, and then a busy night besides that. So I don't even know how many pizzas I made. Yeah, I saw that bug out issues video. I'm planning on catching up to that. Southern Friend. Oh, yeah. Never mind. What do I do exactly, Hooples? Am I growing it back? This is just stubble. This is about a few days worth. No, actually, that's the impressive. We make good food here. So this is the only place that I have spent more than a year at, definitely more than 2 years at, and not been sick of the food. Most of our ingredients are locally sourced. Our flour is proprietary for us from local farmers. Most of the stuff is very natural and pretty good tasting ingredients. So, I mix it up. I don't really get tired of the pizza. But what I do exactly is I work at this place. I work at it's an Italian style pizza, pasta, Subway sandwich style place. Not super fancy, but definitely a bit nicer than most places. We tend to serve mostly lawyers and doctors from the professional district around us, but it is a high-paced environment, high turnover. We have a very, very hard time finding people who can handle the stress and enjoy the fast pace of it. And then job number 2, the newer job is, thank you, Hooples. It's nice to know we got the rest of the 28th. I appreciate you people in the East letting us know that the day went well. I don't appreciate you guys going to bed before the day's actually over, because if the shit hits the fan actually happens, it's going to be all us West Coasters having to deal with it until you guys choose to wake up. A valuable MAG member, Hooples. I've meant to do videos about why people who can actually cook it's an underappreciated skill. I think everybody just sort of thinks, of course you can cook. I mean, if you know how to heat food up, you can cook. But food is, we don't appreciate how important food is for morale, because at any given moment you can have exactly what you want to eat and have it exactly your way. Tell that to Steve. Steve, being able to cook, being able to make food taste good without much, being able to know what you can make with different things, pretty important. Exactly. You have to cook and ideally somehow make food that people will enjoy. The longest you've gone without food? We used to fast growing up, so I mean, I guess 24 hours probably is the longest I've actually. I mean, yeah. Although I've gone long periods with food insecurity and eating very little. Having just my jar of peanut butter and my stack of top ramen that was supposed to last me for the week. So uh, I know what that's like. Yeah, see, Hooples being there's a difference between being able to cook and to chef, and I'm somewhere in between the two. I can cook by instructions, and I can sort of slap some things together out of nothing, but not nearly as well as say my grandma was able to. Yeah, Hooples, I have never had to go hungry as a child. I had many friends growing up who had, so I understand it, and I've been pretty hungry as an adult. But no, I think 24 hours is about the longest that I've gone without literally eating a single thing. But yeah, I had many friends who lived in empty houses for most of their childhood. Anyways, job number two is a vice shop. We sell cigarettes, vapor supplies, vapor equipment, large cigar humidor, the largest beer and wine selection that I've ever seen in a place that's not a warehouse. But specializing in Cancer Man, yes, exactly. Uh, we do a lot of craft beers from local places, so specialty IPAs and stouts and stuff, which my area is very into the microbrew, craft beer, and wine scene. So it's a pretty popular place. No, we don't deal in women there. It's actually illegal around here. How's it going? Good. But it's actually a nice shop. I picked it up thinking it would just be a nice something to hold me over, something easy to pick up. But I did think it was more or less just a smoke shop. By the way, how you doing, Uncle Al? Didn't see you slip in. And Killdeer, we've got a few people I didn't say hi to. How are you guys all doing? Um, anyways, I picked it up thinking it was just a smoke shop, but it's actually, for one thing, a growing business, which is nice because a lot of places are not talking about opening up new locations and hiring management at a steady pace. So it is nice to be part of a growing enterprise, and they seem to be doing well. It's a brisk business, and I mean, it's amazing to see people buying $13 bottles of beer, but they do it. So I'm happy to sell it to them, and I like understanding why people like the nicer things. So I'm learning on wine and cigars and stuff like that. There's a salon next door to the smoke shop, and yeah, so they cater to women at least. We cater to plenty of teenagers. It is amazing how popular that vape is. Yeah, well, it's um, I have always been fine with being in the food service industry because I have always had a resume that allows me to walk into a food job of my choice pretty much anywhere I live. So no, it's not. Hey, Rolas Carvelis, how you doing? Jacksonville, Florida. Thanks for dropping in. Glad you're enjoying the conversation. Oh, so we've got an Antifa shooting. Where is that at? Not behind me. But yeah, I've actually meant to suggest maybe not fast food, but the food service as a valuable prepper skill. for a lot of reasons. Hey Dan, how you doing? Yeah, Glenn. I grew up. Um, I was born in '89, and through 2008, I was a middle class American. I was confident that I would have college more or less paid for, not necessarily outright, but at least loaned to me by my family. I was confident that I'd have a vehicle to drive when I went to college. And just about the time that I graduated, it started becoming very clear that our finances were at the whim of the economy. So, oh, a farewell party, huh? Oh, Uncle Al's area. Okay, interesting. Well, thoughts and prayers for those involved in the shooting. But yeah, up until the 2008 recession, uh, I always had, you know, confidence in finances and stuff, and definitely always had warm house and plenty of food. It wasn't until I tried to strike out on my own that I understood what it was like to have hard times. Garlic festival. What are we talking about here? Oh, the shooting was at a garlic festival. Okay, I was catching up there. That's evil. Garlic is wonderful. Anyways, um, yeah, no, I always was a very fortunate person. Uh, 3 weeks till the move, but I do have enough of an appreciation of hardship to at least not be blind to what it's like. Anyways, back to the food. I think that the food service industry actually can offer preppers plenty of good skills and conditioning. For one thing, I think a lot of preppers tend to be career men. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but is it not true that most preppers tend to have a salary, tend to have enough money to support a family, and have extra money to spend on hobbies and things like that? A lot of preppers are not. Plenty are living the very budget, paycheck to paycheck life. But I think that there are many preppers who have not known what it was like to work hard physically for quite a while, to scrape by, to have to work a job that's somewhat miserable. I just think that there are a lot of white collar or middle class preppers who would find themselves in a completely different world if they were forced to take a fast food entry level job. But I think that there are a lot of good lessons that could be learned from it. For one thing, physically. Um, hey, Reed, how you doing? Yeah, I've been meaning to catch up. You're definitely. I've been meaning to email you and catch up on a lot of different things, but I just keep getting busy and distracted. Hoople's cat will never go hungry again. Reed, how you doing? Oh, yep, I hear you, Dan. That's probably a good way to do it. Get some work done. Um, anyways, yeah, I think a lot of preppers would gain some good, valuable lessons from working in the fast food. I'll actually bump that video up the list because I think that's interesting enough. But yeah, Hooples, I definitely understand that. As soon as through high school and as I became an adult and lived on my own, most of the people that were around me were people who had had extremely difficult childhoods. I mean, we're talking just waking up with their parents having abandoned them in the home, and just from that point on, they haven't seen them, just been living with friends, essentially being orphaned at a young age. Um, so, I've just always at least identified with people who have had extremely difficult childhoods. But I think that definitely helps a prepper having that under their belt. Hardship of any kind, hardship is hard to come by nowadays for a lot of people. So for those who've actually had to go through it, um, there is a hardening process that they'll benefit from in a lot of the situations that we talk about. I hear you, Reed. I've managed to bump out a couple of discussion videos just because the idea for the discussion came along to me, but it has mostly been too busy for me to really think about a discussion topic and put the video together. Yeah, I agree, Reed. I've actually thought about doing a video on how having dealt with hardship is good for preppers, and asking preppers how many of them have really had hard times, have really been broken before, and realized that I would have to be very careful with that video because a good number of the people in this community are specifically here because they have experienced hardship, which makes mine pale in comparison even. So I don't want to do it in such a way that makes it sound like a sob story or anything like that, because a lot of the people in this community are specifically here because they've experienced horrific things in their past. So yeah, Hooples, I understand that. It's the world is made to soften us, basically. It's crazy to think just how soft we really are compared to anybody who's had hard times. Live in Thailand for 2 years? Yeah, I can imagine. I've sometimes thought that it is probably one of the best prepper experiences to just go and live in a third world country and not actually benefit from being from a first world country, but to actually experience squalor like that. Thank you, Hooples. I really appreciate that. Yeah, a lot of it is a combination of being much busier than I've been used to for a while, having a couple other distractions, and just needing to gear myself, adapt towards my new circumstances, and push on because I still have plenty to say. I definitely want to get videos out. I just need to get used to my new environment and get on top of it. Thanks, Angela. Yeah, every day, literally every single day, I ask myself which day I'm going to have time to come over there. But unfortunately, a lot of nights are like this where I get off sort of late and then work sort of early in the morning. So, but I really want to get off early and start late the next day. Lately, my only days off are actually whenever I get off at 6 p.m. and don't work till 2 p.m. the next day. That's my day off. So next time that happens, I'll let you guys know and come camp out at your property for a night. Cool, Reed. I appreciate that. I was sort of, if I don't have time to put out a lot of videos, then I'd rather put out discussion pieces rather than extra technical pieces, because there's going to be, there are always, for almost every technical video that I can make, somebody else has made one that's probably better. And I don't mind redoing videos that someone else has made because it's always worth sharing your take on something. But if I'm only going to put out a video once in a while, I would like it to be something that will open discussion with some of you guys. David Bond videos. Noted. That would be a really fun time, Hooples. I'm going to keep that in mind. This time next year, it could be very, very busy for me, depending. But otherwise, that would be something, could be pretty fun for a lot of people. Okay, yeah, no, you'll have more than 3 months if I were to ever come out there. I'd have to plan it further than that. But thank you, that sounds amazing. Yes, everybody, there's a prepper convention at the Shire next year. And it's all on Hooples aside from the transportation. Yeah, Angela, we'll figure it out. I've been dying to come out there. I think about it every day. Just like to, I haven't gone camping at all this summer, and I really, especially having the YouTube channel, I fully planned on doing a lot of camping, doing a lot of field videos, doing field testing of gear. And then I went and trapped myself with 2 jobs. Yeah, kayaking is fun for that, Hooples. Strenuous work. I like lumber camping. Like it's fun to I've often lived with wood heat or had a side job where I was cutting and splitting firewood for people, like logging their property of firewood. One of my favorite things to do is go out with a couple buddies and some hard ciders and bourbon, a lot of good food, set up a camp where you're going to be cutting down a lot of trees and splitting them up, and then just spend a day or two hanging out, camping, and running chainsaws. It's hard work, and it's just a good time. But there's a lot of things to appreciate there. All right, so about British beer. I know you're Canadian, but you're still subjects of the crown. We sell UK beer imports where I work, the other job, and your guys' beers are 11.2 fluid ounces, whereas our beers are 12 fluid ounces. And you don't notice it at first, but your beers are literally just a hair shorter than our beers. Is that because you can't drink that? They don't want you drinking that much beers? Oh, we better. Or is the queen literally keeping a little bit of each beer for herself? No, I know it's a pint, but it's smaller. Hey, Prepper Vet Mitchell. That sounds fun. Yeah, I do like hiking. Growing up, one sec. All growing up, I was doing hiking, camping, and Boy Scouts. We rarely went hiking or went camping if we didn't hike at least 5 or 10 miles to the spot. Good night, Angela. I see that you're heading out. Woo! I just smelled some marijuana. Must have been someone driving by. Probably the sweeper van man. Yeah, good night, Angela. I'll catch up with you guys later. Hey, Anna. Lost Canadian. Yeah, it probably is. Washington's only about 15 minutes that way, so no, Reed. I don't get tested where I'm at. And actually, a lot of places, for instance, Marlboro, the cigarette company, over at the other job, the Marlboro rep was in, and she said that Marlboro has taken marijuana off of their drug testing panel because they've purchased a marijuana company because they're going to sell green Marlboro packs in dispensaries pretty soon. So you'll be able to buy a 20-pack of Marlboro weed cigarettes in dispensaries, not anywhere else, but those things are going to sell like crazy when they come out. But anyways, Marlboro still drug tests their people, but marijuana is no longer on the panel. So that's going to be a change of the future, I think, for a lot of things, because there is a very large talent pool of people who are otherwise completely valuable workers, but who happen to use marijuana. Whether you use it while you're working or not, it disqualifies you for working. So how is American beer like making love in a canoe, Glenn? Tell us. I think we're about to find out the reason that we have this live stream going on. Prepper Vet Mitchell, are you wandering Marine veteran?
So we're super close, buddy. So
all right.
We lock it out, or?
Yeah, you can lock it. I'll go around the back.
Cool. Sounds great, bro.
Thank you.
You having fun?
Oh yeah, slow live stream.
Nice.
Yep.
You need another?
Oh no, I'm good. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, brother.
Oh, Army. Okay, cool. Oh, you're good. Thanks. Well, I'll probably wrap this one up soon. I might even just go home and start a new one. Never refuse a beer. Oh, that's all right. So since I've been working at the new job, I've been taking home singles. Sometimes been giving them for free, sometimes just buying one. But I have not drank much beer in my life. Not a big beer person. But to be able to suggest them to people and offer an opinion at the job, because it's not a sales job, but a lot of what I do is helping people find beers that they like or different things. So I have started bringing home things to try and then just falling asleep before I have a chance to start drinking. So I've got a pretty decent little bar going on at home that I didn't even mean to collect. So just had a little bit of a raspberry lemonade cider here from a somewhat local brewery, and go home and maybe start this thing up again if anyone's still around. I believe that, Reed, about the retired police moving it. I have driven by dispensaries before and seen the shipment coming in, and it is multiple Suburbans with guys who are very clearly armed, with metal cages built inside the Suburbans, and it's a very tight operation. So I mean, it looks more or less like a armored truck swap. Yeah, I'm in Idaho, but I am often enough over in Washington for friends, or one of our other locations at the pizza place is in Washington, so sometimes I'll end up over there. Um, All right, Anna. Yeah, I was sort of thinking of going home and just starting again. I was gonna hit the gym after work, but I was actually gonna do this and then hit the gym. But I don't know. I might even still do that. It's still early here, but I might also just go home and hang out with you guys. It's been a while. Yeah, Steve. Oh, I'm sure that they pay good for somebody to carry the stuff from the processing facility to the dispensaries, actually from the lab to the dispensaries, and the money out, because it's all very privately done. Oh yeah, Dan. The marijuana industry is booming. I mean, it's just one of the largest and only growing industries that there is. Um, oh, I'll bet. Um, it's amazing that the feds are still resistant to it because it is so much money to be taxed. So much money. Huh. Yeah, I can see the food insecurity being a problem. Interesting. Hmm. Now I haven't heard that, Anna. That would probably be from place to place. I can see why it might disqualify you from being able to carry. But yeah, there's so much money in it that it's starting to affect other stuff, definitely. Interesting, Anna. Yeah, the difference between the federal and state laws is really where it comes in. Really, that's interesting. Smoke it on the sidewalk, but not other places. Hmm. Interesting. New Mexico, the state won't tell the ATF. However, the ATF will take the view that if you use no, I can see that. Very interesting. Yeah, it is a brave new world to confront, and it brings up a lot of questions because, well, questions that have already been there. Most drug tests can detect marijuana for months after it was used once, whereas you can be drunk on the job every single day and go completely undetected. If you ever smoked marijuana, does a TSA really care if you've ever smoked marijuana? Like when you're just going on a flight? Interesting. Really? So if you want to fly on a plane and they'll ask you if you have ever used marijuana, and if you say yes, they'll say, "I'm sorry, you can't fly because sometime in the past you used marijuana." What would be the precedent for that? They're worried that you might have some medical issue or something? That's ridiculous. And yet they'll serve you alcohol on the plane, which can affect your heart and things like that. Interesting. Hey, Chasing Life, how you doing? Well, I might go ahead and actually wrap this one up here pretty soon. Uh, maybe hurry home and start it up again. You want them to ask the pilots what exactly? Yeah, Hooples, if people are going to hang around for about 10, 15 minutes while I get home and set up, then I'll go straight home and set up. Aren't you working? Just going to sleep in your office there, Hooples? All right, yeah, let's go ahead and wrap it up so I can hurry to the secret hidden underground bunker location. The Gilroy shooting, interesting. Yeah, we were talking about that. All right, yep, I'm going to drop out of here and hurry home, guys. Thanks for chatting. Thanks for watching. Everybody rewatching later. See you in a minute.